Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Okay, first of all, I love this photo. It was taken from Twitter from a page called Photos, which is spelled F-O-T-O-S. Tiradas, T-I-R-A-D-A-S, no, N-O, Memento. And then there was another, I can't pronounce it. Anyway, I just loved this photo. As usual, we've got several things to cover in today's video. We're just going to power through them all. We have some stories. We have some updates as well. Charles's tour continues in Wales. We have a little bit of Wimbledon going on. And updates. So let's just jump in. Oh, let me also let you know, I still, fingers crossed, am symptom-free of COVID. My neighbor is doing still okay. She's still isolating, and but she so far hasn't run into any problems. All right, let's just jump in with both feet and get there, shall we? Let's go. Beatrice showed up at Wimbledon with her husband, Edo. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They're such a cute couple. And when I think when it comes to husbands, I think Beatrice hit the mark, the nail on the head. Notice you don't see a whole lot of Eugenie and Jack at this point since that whole scandal thing came out. Anyway, they both looked lovely. I loved her dress. This is from one of Kate's favorite designers. They looked very happy, very relaxed. They were obviously getting into whatever was happening at Wimbledon. There's one picture that's about to come up where you can see the like something happened and they're both like, ooh, at the same time. All right, moving on. And the person we're moving on to is Catherine, who has now shown up for the ladies' finals at Wimbledon. She's wearing this beautiful, very bright, vibrant yellow dress. I think she looks lovely. She always looks lovely. That dress, as it turns out, is a rewear. She wore it in Jamaica. And a big thank you to Dagmar of Denmark for putting this up, which shows that literally everything that she's wearing is a rewear, sustainable fashion. You know what the difference is? She buys her clothes and has them tailored to her. They're not, freebies or samples that she wears and then gives back. That's the difference. Catherine arrived at Wimbledon. Here's a short video. Watch this.
Sun's out again. Right. I think we've got it.
Brilliant. Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. Exciting game yesterday.
Oh, it was exciting. Should be exciting game.
Hi. How are you?
Now, they had people lined up and ready to meet. So Catherine first met this group, and I hope I'm saying the names right. This is Gabia Sakavictui, who was nominated by Jigsaw for You for her care of her family and neighbors during the pandemic. And also Edward Roberts, Leeds uni student, who is the designer of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee emblem. I think that's very nice. Then Catherine moved on to meet Rachel Williams, who was the guest services host for the day, and Dave Tullock, who is the estate management support services. Here's a short video clip of their interaction. Watch this.
Two of the important people behind the scenes.
Now, after meeting them, she moved on to the last pair of people that were waiting for her. Watch this. So when that was all done, she went ahead and walked on into Wimbledon to watch the ladies' singles finals. Here she goes. And by the way, look who else was there at Wimbledon with his eyes peeled on Catherine. Yep. All right, time to move on to another royal. All right, Charles, the mayor and Lower Luna Valley councilor Joyce Pritchard received Charles on his visit to Morecambe. I'm not sure where Camilla was. Seems like she's missed out on a bunch of these events. Anyway, while Charles was in Lancashire, he went and visited Morecambe. And while he was there, he went to Wheaton Barracks. He gave out some Platinum Jubilee medals to 4 service personnel. He had a lot going on there. Charles spoke to the people there about those who had made the ultimate sacrifice. Watch this.
The battalion I know has lost 16 of your members as a result of enemy action. So I just wanted to use this opportunity to pay a very special tribute to their memory.
Charles then met the battalion mascot. It's a ram by the name of Darby. He then posed with all of the troops. You know how that goes, the obligatory photo. He was then serenaded by the Fijian choir who's living there in the barracks at this time. Watch this. Once again, it looks like another successful trip. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and yeah, I love the photos. Now, after that, Charles went to visit a landmark theater in Lancashire to mark the building's 125th anniversary. And he praised the volunteers because they're restoring the Winter Gardens, and he unveiled a plaque to celebrate the milestone. He gave them plenty of praise for their work, which I think is wonderful. And of course, Charles also went to visit the local fire station. Now, while he was there, Charles also went to the Morecambe Bay Food Bank, and he was told that they were supporting over 700 families a month with food parcels. That's an amazing accomplishment. All right, I absolutely could not help myself. Now, we know that yesterday I showed you that multiple newspaper articles came out with very false and misleading misinformation headlines. And I could not help myself. From Lizzie, the old biddy, the irony, the king and queen of hypocrisy are using minions to spread misinformation while they're claiming that they're going to clean up the internet from all the misinformation. I mean, it's, oh my goodness. All right, we're going to touch really quickly again on this whole lawsuit thing. Now remember, Harry has 2 actions. Actually, he's got 3 actions going now. He's got the actions because he wants his IPP status back and he wants free security. That's the first one. And that first one is because Harry is saying that the Queen's private secretary, who he was having problems with, shouldn't have had anything to say about his protection. His attorney said that the household should not have been involved in the UK government's decision on whether to deny him police protection while in Britain. Well, if this tweet above is true, then Harry's got problems because apparently the RAVIC guidelines clearly state that the committee always includes members of the royal household and meets annually to review who is entitled. Yep. So this was not a vendetta and it was nothing new. Harry lost his security when he stepped down. Now, when he was told during the Sandringham summit that he was going to lose his security, why didn't he fight for it then? Why hasn't he been complaining up until now about the security? I think I have an opinion on that because, number one, up until that first quarter of 2021, Harry's father was giving them millions every month. And so the security wasn't really costing them anything. It was costing Charles. Once Charles cut him off after handing him another like $3 or $4 million and said, you're on your own, suddenly they had to come up with all this money and now it's financially straining them. That's why. But I couldn't help but notice, and I'm throwing this in here, we're going to touch on this in a minute, but I couldn't help but notice that Harry and Meghan went to Wyoming, which is an open carry state. There's guns in everybody's pocket all around them at that parade. We know what happened at the other parade, right? With the shootings. And yet the two of them seem perfectly fine with one bodyguard sitting there on the side of the road with all these people around them having guns, but they're worried about what's going to go on in the UK. Like, are you kidding? Now remember, he has like multiple lawsuits going. It's, you shouldn't have taken away my security. And then now he's got another one going. You shouldn't have discussed it with the royal household. Okay, so now he is suing, let's not forget, the Mail on Sunday, saying that the Mail on Sunday put up information that made him look bad. So they had the hearing, and remember, the judge put out a statement that said, this is not a win or a loss or anything else. We're simply going to let it go forward. That's all it means. It doesn't mean he's won the case. But do you guys remember what the whole case was about? He's got so many lawsuits going, sometimes it's hard to keep up. Like, the man is sinking his own ship. Anyway, he said that the Mail on Sunday caused him, quote, hurt, embarrassment, and distress. Kind of makes you wonder about the hurt, embarrassment, and distress that he caused his own family. So remember, the Mail on Sunday published an article that he said damaged his reputation and made him look dishonest, which we already know from court that he's dishonest and he's rude and he's self-entitled, and we already know all this. And in case you forgot, Harry is pushing back. The claims made by the Mail on Sunday was that he lied about offering to pay for security costs himself, and that those misleading reports confuses and manipulates the public opinion. Like, he never does that. Like, his PR team and Sunshine Sachs never do that. Remember, those reports attack his honesty and integrity, and they undermine his fitness to be in charitable and philanthropic work. The problem is his actions over the last 2 years have damaged his honesty and integrity and his fitness to, involve himself in charitable and philanthropic work. Nobody trusts him, and nobody trusts his wife, regardless of what the Mail on Sunday writes. But I love what Random Newland posted on Twitter. This, I believe, is response to what was put in by Harry. And it says that in his legal claim against the Home Office, the claimant, which would be Harry, had sought confidentiality restrictions that were far-reaching and unjustifiably wide and were rightly challenged by the Home Office on the grounds of transparency and open justice. If they're able to prove that, Harry's in trouble. They also said Harry was responsible for any public statements issued on his behalf, which claimed he was willing to pay for police protection, and his legal challenge was to the government's refusal to permit him to do so, where the true position, as revealed in documents filed in legal proceedings, was that he'd only made the offer to pay after the proceedings had commenced. Whoops. And finally, the last part, which is that Harry was responsible for attempting to mislead and confuse the public as to his true position, which is ironic given that he now holds a public role in tackling misinformation. So let me tell you something. If the Mail on Sunday has their receipts with this, Harry's going to go down. All right, moving on. The stories are coming out. They're an all-American family. Harry and Meghan are seen with son Archie, waving many stars and stripes flags and enjoying treats during their traditional 4th of July parade. Could you imagine Harry standing there while the United States is celebrating coming out from UK British rule, and his son is standing there waving a flag? I'm getting emails from people going, look at the ears, they're different. Look at this, look at that. People, that is Harry. Okay, it really is. That's Harry. But there's something else going on in this picture. Either that is not Meghan or they're having the world's biggest fight. Because usually they're lovey-dovey, they're smiling. Meghan's always looking for the camera. She's always touching Harry. Harry's touching her, leaning on her for strength. There's something odd happening here. I could not help myself. I love what Harry's gray suit wrote here. They went from first row to second row to sitting in the gutter. Yikes. Anyway, this is part of what I was talking about before. There's people milling all about. There's people with guns. It's an open carry state. And they have one security guard. obviously people know who they are, and they don't seem to feel like they're in any danger there. But you know what I'm saying? There's no danger for them. But actually, they think they're in less danger there than in the UK. It makes no sense to me. Could it be that the reason they're not touching, talking, looking at each other is because they're in the middle of a fight? Because that's what's being reported. I've told you guys before, it must be so difficult to walk around and stare dewy-eyed at each other and look lovey-dovey all the time like you never have a problem. Every couple fights. Every couple, including them. Okay? They just don't usually do it out in public. But that's what I think is happening here. Apparently, Meghan is unhappy because she found random messages on Harry's telephone, and also supposedly she's unhappy over that polo, picture of Harry hugging that blonde-headed woman. She thinks it's inappropriate and he shouldn't be touching other women. I don't think Harry's cheating. That's not what I think is going on. Here's what I think is going on. Meghan, we know, has cut him off from his family, has cut him off from all of his friends. She controls everything. And I think she found out that he's communicating with somebody that she has not approved. And since she holds him for everything, I think she's upset. How dare he communicate with somebody without getting her approval first? As a matter of fact, I'm going to go with that whole fight thing, because what I'm seeing in these pictures is a husband that is trying his best to stay away from his wife because he doesn't want to argue with her in front of the cameras. So he's doing his best to keep his distance. Sorry guys, but these photos do not look look at this. Look at him. I'm telling you guys, I think it has finally sunk into Harry what he's done. As soon as he went back for the Platinum Jubilee and he was relegated to the second row Harry, and the family wasn't talking to him, and then he comes back and the only person he has is Meghan, because they really don't have any friends in the United States. Every friend that Meghan makes, eventually she uses them and tosses them away. They're just things to be used. I think Harry realizes this was a mistake, and he doesn't know what to do to get out of it at this point, because now he has 2 children with her. That's what did I tell you guys before? Marry in haste, repent in leisure. And I have to also say, does anybody else find it odd that Harry and Meghan denied Archie the chance to go to the Platinum Jubilee and see that parade, but they're willing to take him to this parade? And for those who are sending me emails with comparison stuff going on, absolutely continue to send me your stuff. But I believe that, remember, they don't have, I'm air quoting, they don't have social media. I believe their friend took all of these photos, or a pap took the photos. I believe they were heavily photoshopped, and then they were put out. And then, of course, they were deleted after they were, picked up by everybody else. Yeah, that's what I think is going on. And I want to point one other thing out. The article took it down. They took down all the photos. And then when they put the photos back up, they pixelated out Archie's face, because obviously his privacy must be maintained, right? But they didn't bother to pixelate out the faces of all the other underage children that they've used in their PR stunts over the last 2 years, because I'm assuming their privacy doesn't matter, because after all, they're just, common folk. And at the same time, I need to show you all this picture once again. Remember, this picture was put out and Meghan and Harry did not sue. They sued the photographer in Canada who took a picture of the back of Archie's head. But here's Meghan, pregnant supposedly, carrying Archie through the streets. And this picture was released 15 minutes, I believe, if I remember correctly, before Louis' birthday photo was posted. And everybody said, well, she can't help it, she was packed. Okay, she never sued anybody over this photo. What does that tell you? All right, moving on. This article came out. I was like, what? It says, the Royal Polo Wags, how beaming Kate Middleton cheered Prince William to victory in charity match Windsor, while Meghan Markle joined celeb friends to watch Prince Harry in California. Anybody see anything wrong with that article? Well, I love what Royally Blunt put. Catherine is not a wag. She's the wife of a British prince and licensed pilot. She's not the wife of an athlete. William is not a full-time polo player. You're looking at the future king here. Royal reporters are so thirsty for that Hollywood lifestyle. The Hollywood lifestyle doesn't appear to be working out well for Harry. All right, you guys, I'm going to have to end the video here. My goodness, it just keeps getting longer and longer. So we're going to stop right here. I really want your comments, what you think about all the information and all the news in this video, okay? So make sure to leave those comments below. Make them good. You know how I feel about the comments. Don't forget to double check and make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, go ahead and do that. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter, Getter, Rumble. Don't forget you can email me. To those who have donated to my coffee fund and through the thank button, thank you very much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.